All right, we're going to get things going on the afternoon program here. Thanks for being with us, and I hope you had a good networking lunch out there. I'm Mike Lessiter. I'm the president of Lessiter Media. I'm Frank's son, and it's a great honor to be here with you today, and this is one of my favorite parts of the program. I was 3 years old in 1972 when Dad put out the very first issue of No-Till Farmer. And so as long as I can remember, No-Till Farmer has been part of our family. The fifth child, we've called it. And my dad would say was the best behaved child in the family, too. But Dad is not here because he's taking care of Mom back home. But he's with us in spirit. And I've been checking in with him throughout the conference, and the well wishes and the faces and some of the talks yesterday were very meaningful to him. So thank you for that. What we're going to do now here in the next part of the program is the No-Till Innovators of the Year program, which I've been told has been seminal to planting the seeds for no-till growth in this country. So it's our great honor to announce the 29th class of the No-Till Innovators to you this afternoon. A little bit of background. This national recognition was birthed in 1996 to shine the light on those who are helping to advance the no-till practice, and as such have been instrumental in growing adoption through the recognition of these champions, the teachers, the business supporters, and the early adopters of the practice. And it really is very much an A-list of the movers and shakers in the no-till world. We recognize farmers, researchers and educators, agribusinesses, and associations and organizations. The judging panel this year selected 4 inductees who have been key players in the growth of the no-till movement here in North America. The No-Till Innovator Awards program has once again been generously sponsored by Marion Calmer here of Calmer Cornheads. And as most of you know, Marion is a farmer, independent researcher, and owner of the Cornhead Company. And he himself was an inaugural inductee back all the way in 1996. And what you may not know is that he personally stepped forward several years ago to ensure that this unique program could continue on when funding support dried up. So we are very much indebted and grateful to Marion. So right now I'd ask our longtime friend, supporter, Marion Calmer, to join me on stage and say a few words. Few words, Marion.
Thanks, Mike. Good afternoon. It certainly is an honor to sponsor this program. As Mike mentioned, I was in the very first class, and I won it in the category of public image of American agriculture. That was the one and only time that they ever had an award for public image of agriculture. I said, well, if they got anything any better than that, why we're going to. So they've been narrowing it down over time, and it's certainly an honor to be part of this program. And congratulations to all of the winners. I guess my definition of an innovator is somebody that's willing to try something new and fail. I think we've all been there, and we got a lot to be proud of. Thank you. Honor.
Thank you, Marion. This means very much to us. Before we get going, just real briefly, I know we have a lot of no-till innovators in the audience today. I would just ask that if you would stand up for a moment to let us applaud you for what you've done. Please, if you're a no-till innovator alumni, please stand up here. Great to have you here. Thank you. So what we're going to do now is bring each of the inductees up. We have 3 of the 4 that are here today with us. One is in the hospital in Minneapolis, which I'll tell you about. We can keep it fairly brief, but you're going to be able to read about each of these individuals in your next No-Till Farmer Conservation Guide magazine. First up, we're going to bring Adam Daugherty up to the stage. Please come up over here next to Marion. Adam is being recognized in the research and education category. He serves as the NRCS District Conservationist for Coffee County, Tennessee, where he has personally spearheaded efforts to increase no-till and cover crop adoption. Adam started his soil rejuvenation journey in 2013 with 8 long-term no-tillers. And since then, he's helped advance the practices of more than 70 farmers in his area and is now seeing diverse, high biomass cover crop mixes present on over half of the cropland in his county. Tremendous. And the judges here noted that Adam has gone well beyond his NRCS job description to not only promote conservation, but bring farmers together and collect and distribute best practice information in their own very unique region. I'm going to ask, hold your applause just for a moment. I'm going to ask Adam a quick question here for us. Tell us a quick word about a key hurdle you discovered from your growers and how you address that hurdle to help them confidently move into the no-till and cover crops.
The biggest key hurdle that we overcame was probably dealing with heavy biomass. Most of my growers where I was at, long-term, very advanced, good, very experienced no-till folks, and we had been growing cover crops, implementing those into our no-till systems, and just like a lot of folks, we get a little scared of them and burn them down, and about the third year in, we got caught with our britches down, and it got hot and warm, and we couldn't go handle them, so we had to learn how to handle biomass by immersion, a baptism in the biomass world, and it was scary. I had seen it done through some of these other innovators, talked to some folks, and that instilled the confidence in me enough to be enough dangerous to where I could instill the confidence with them that we was fixing to have to do this, and it turned out well. That was probably one of the biggest things. The other thing is us as a community, and me personally, I had to understand that, you know, it gets back into the law of diffusion and innovation, and it's not for everyone. And I probably spent too much time investing in trying to get everybody to do it instead of the folks that were committed and us advancing at a faster level. So we held ourselves back a little bit, probably trying to get, just put it that I was a preacher and I just couldn't let church end until everybody had come forth to the pulpit. And I had to realize that sometimes you just got to let it go and get your focuses turned back to those that really desire and want the help.
Very well said. Thank you for what you're doing. Appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you all.
Great words there. Up next is the North Jersey Resource Conservation and Development Group. I'm going to ask Laura to join us from the floor. North Jersey Resource Conservation and Development is being recognized in the association organization category. And you may notice that I said New Jersey, Asbury, New Jersey to be exact, and is not an area that comes first of mind when it comes to production agriculture out there. And for the very first time in 29 years, we're putting a No-Till Innovators pin in the map on the state of New Jersey here. I believe we first met your crew in St. Louis at the No-Till conference about 5 years ago. About 1,000 miles away from home or so, I think. And they were there putting their staff there to help understand how to prepare the ag advisors in their area about how to do this thing, no-till and cover crops. And a very major accomplishment of the group was the preparation and compilation of what is now a book that is being utilized all over the country, even worldwide. We're calling it the No-Till and Cover Crops Handbook. And this is an outstanding pictorial compendium that they used. That they got funding to help the ag advisors. And if I have the story right, COVID happened. You pivoted, put this book together. And when Laura showed it to me, we looked at it at the office. This is one of the finest 101 primers on no-till and cover crop. And now it's out there. Her nonprofit covers 1.4 million acres of wildly diverse agriculture types, focuses on 3 areas of ag sustainability, resource protection, and community development. And we're going to ask Laura here, just like we did with Adam here, tell us about the origins of the Train the Trainer work that resulted in this book that has now been so prominent here over the last year and a half or so.
Will do. So thank you. This is quite the honor for our organization, a nonprofit from New Jersey, to receive, and really it initiated the idea for Train the Trainer. We applied to Northeast SARE for professional development grant so that we could help bring more education to our ag specialists within New Jersey. So whether it be NRCS or soil conservation districts or anyone really, any TSP, we found that we really needed to let even the younger generations know about equipment to be able to then help the farmers in the field or have the right information in the field. And so that's what led us to go get that grant from Northeast SARE, and we were planning to have in-person meetings, and then the pandemic hit and we pivoted, and I give it all to my staff. I had excellent staff, Bridget Hoshi, Christian Bench, and they went to task to create this educational manual that then just has a ton of pictures, ton of information about equipment and retrofits, and really kind of an intro guide. So I think it could work from the farmer standpoint as well as the technical service provider standpoint. And we went and researched, reached out to the Pennsylvania no-tillers, reached out to farmers within our own realm of where we work in northern New Jersey. I know Rob Fulper's here in the room and kind of reviewed that as well and gave tips and tricks. And so we include those farmer tips and tricks throughout the book.
Great. Congratulations, Laura. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. Our third recipient is unable to be here with you today, but I still want to talk about him a bit. It's Minnesota-based Truax company in our business and service category. Jim Truax had a terrible accident that still has him in the hospital, but we're planning on getting him out here next year. But I'll briefly tell you a word about his contributions. With subpar equipment available in the early 1970s to seed grasses, he developed a groundbreaking drill called the Truax, his last name. And he selflessly came up with a program to get the drills out there and in use at no charge. And by doing so, he opened up a lot of eyes and a lot of acres with a machine innovation described as an equipment tool that was a gateway to no-till. And today his drill provides solutions for seeding soybeans, cereal crops, covers, and alfalfa. I visited Jim twice up in the hospital. My sons go to the University of Minnesota, and he's in Minneapolis. And I can tell you, he was determined to try to get here today. He had a bad ankle accident, and so I'm disappointed he wasn't able to get his clearance to travel. But we're going to tell his story next year as well. So that's our third recipient. And then last but not least, we'd ask Jimmy Emmons to come up and join Marion on the stage. Jimmy is being honored in the crop production category, You heard from him right before lunch. Great story, inspiring. For those who maybe have not yet met him, Jimmy's name has been in the news recently, continually named as one of the very top minds for the new administration to consider as candidates to guide the various agencies in Washington, D.C. And the entire no-till community is very, very proud of Jimmy. He and his wife Ginger have been farming in Leedy, Oklahoma since 1980 and manage an enormously diverse 2,000-acre operation that also now includes a cow-calf operation as well. Jimmy began implementing no-till when he took over the family farm, and as he learned more about conservation practices that might benefit his land, he added crop rotations, cover crops, grazing management, all to reduce soil erosion from wind and water. Jimmy was one of the first in his area to experiment with pollinator strips and companion crops to help control sugarcane aphids and grain sorghum. And he's been extremely generous in sharing his research results with other no-tillers, hosting several field days, speaking at national conferences like this. And he was also the very first Leopold Award recipient in the state of Oklahoma. And so we're going to give Jimmy a question here before the applause. We heard this morning, in Randall and John did a brief moment of silence for Bill Richards, who really was responsible for some great things, being a no-tiller, went into Washington inside the Beltway and made some things happen. And from your long perspective, and just wanted to see if you had anything that made you optimistic about the new administration and how it can help everyone here in the room with no-till covers conservation moving forward.
You know, I think if you really look at the Trump administration and last go around and this go around, early on, the first go around, I was skeptical about his knowledge of agriculture and where he would be. And he came out very, very strong about farmers and how important they are because they're the working man of the country. And he still holds that way today. And I will think that you will see a very strong, every time he talks, almost every time he will talk about the farmers. And I think that's very dear and true to him. And his selection so far at USDA is proving that he wants the right people to get the job done in a very short time. Last time he took a while and there was obstacles getting everybody confirmed. They're trying to get 500 people ready to be confirmed by the 20th. They're optimistic of that. We'll see how it comes, but I believe we have a bright hope with the Trump administration because he does see as a businessman how important agriculture is to America, and he knows that without that we have nothing. And so I look forward to him selecting more farmers across the administration in the lower levels now, and hopefully we'll make that through and we can have a contribution there as well.
There's someone in Oklahoma I hope he picks the phone up with very, very soon. So let's give Jimmy a big round of applause for this contribution. Thank you, sir.